Thanks very much, Carla. Firstly, I want to thank my own colleague, Deputy Colin, for bringing this forward. Look, this is the conclusion of the debate. We know that there is very serious concerns, and they're not just concerns by us in opposition, but there's concerns by so many women throughout the whole country. And unfortunately, it comes as a result of the history of, the treatment by the state of women. And we all know, we've had several discussions in this chamber on many issues in relation to women, but particularly in relation to women's health. And some of those are not as historic as others. The cervical check situation, cervical scandal, that wasn't that far long in our history. There was issues around breast cancer screening. The list is endless. And I actually wanted to take the opportunity, because I think my colleagues have made the points that this does need to be a state-run hospital. I think it's really important. But there are so many medical services for women that are just not adequate, or that are absolutely not at the races. There's been discussions around menopause, and I think it really made it had to go to the point where there was discussions on the national airwaves, where people were ringing in to national programmes before there's kind of been any sort of recognition of the amount of work that has to be done. And women literally left, like, not being diagnosed as perimenopausal and all of the other things that come with that. I also want to mention endometriosis. That's a very serious condition that very many women suffer from. That is misdiagnosed, that is not treated, countless women have difficulties and issues, and it can seriously affect fertility and other issues later in your life if it's not addressed. And last year, when we were sitting in the convention centre, I told a story of somebody who is very close to me, who was misdiagnosed for years and actually was in the gown going down for a gallbladder operation at the age of 25, when luckily somebody had the cop on and the common sense to say, I wonder, should we do a scan of the uterus as well? Up to that point, imagine, that hadn't been done, and it was endometriosis. And they were about to remove this person's gallbladder, in the gown, ready, fasting from the night before. That's the type of service that women, unfortunately, have gotten used to. And they shouldn't. It's unacceptable, it's disgraceful, and by not having a fully state-run and state-owned hospital, women are afraid that this kind of treatment is going to continue. And that's not to even get into the whole debate on repealing the 8th Amendment that was successful in 2018 and the knock-on effect for that. I'm out of time, but I did just want to say that women have been failed so badly in this state. We have an opportunity to have a first-class hospital that we all want, that we all know is overdue, but it needs to be state-run and state-owned. Thank you, Carla.